Hello students, in this lecture we will look at functions, that what are functions in Python, why do we use functions, what is the use of functions. So let's start from the beginning, that why do we use functions. So there are times when we need to organize our code or reuse our code. So like we want to reuse our code, like maybe this part of a code can be used in some other module or some other part of code. So we basically organize that code into functions, so that we can use that code again. Also, functions are used to perform single and related actions and can be defined to provide the required functionality. There are basic simple rules to define a function in Python. So we will look at these rules with the help of an example. So let's first look at the syntax of a function. This is the basic syntax of the function. We use this def keyword, def keyword, to tell our Python interpreter that next whatever we are writing is a function till this indentation. So starting from this function definition, after writing this keyword def, we write the function name. So this is the function name. And after writing this function name, we write the parameters under the parentheses. And after this, we write this colon, which tells the Python interpreter that whatever we are writing next is the function definition. So in the function definition, function body, first we write the function docstring, that is what this function is about, what this function is doing. This is an optional step, we can skip if we don't want to do this, but this, like, it makes the code readable to the other users. Then after that we write the function body here, so which is basically the logic of that function, that why we are writing this function, what are we going to perform here is written under this body. In the next end step, last step, what we write is a return statement which returns something to the variable where the function has been called. So let's see an example of a function. So this is a Python program to check whether a number is prime or not. So the logic is, this is the logic to check for a number is a prime or not. So let's first look at the logic, then we will move towards the function definition and function calling. So basically the logic is, if the number is greater than 1, if the number is greater than 1, we will check for the number is prime or not. So what we are doing is we are checking in the range from 2 to num minus 1. This range function works from this to this minus 1. So we are checking from 2 to this number minus 1. What we are doing is we are simply dividing the number in this range from by all the numbers in this range, and this, if this number is divisible by any of the number in the range, then this statement will print that the given number is not a prime number, as it is divisible by some number except 1 and itself. And after that we will simply come out of this loop, because obviously we don't need to check further because we found that this number is not a prime number. This break statement will simply make this cursor to control to move out of this loop simply. Okay, what if this number is not divisible by any of the number in the given range from 2 to number minus 1? Then in the end, this else part will work. We will print in the end that this number is a prime number because this number has not been divided by any of the number in the given range. Okay. Now this is about this if part. If number is greater than 1, then this part will be executed. But if number is not greater than 1, this is less than 1 or equals to 1, then what? Then simply this message will be printed that the number is not a prime number. So by the definition of prime number, the number which is smaller than 1 or equals to 1 is not a prime number. So this message will be printed. Now, this is about the logic. Now let's look how a function is called or how a function is defined in Python. So basically first we define the definition. We give the function definition to the Python interpreter. Now in the previous slide, I just told that we start a function definition with this def keyword, def keyword. So this def keyword tells the Python interpreter that now next whatever is written is a definition. So we are defining a definition. We are defining this word keyword prime, which has some definition here. So this is the function name prime. This is the parameter that we are passing to this function, which is written in this parenthesis. After giving this function name and this parameter in the parenthesis, we will write these colons. Now next, whatever written after this colon is the function body. So this is the function body, which I just explained you what this task is implementing here. So whatever this is implementing is function body. Next, this definition will not be executed until and unless this function has been called somewhere in the program. So here we are calling this function in these two lines. We are working to call this function. Here simply I am taking a number from the user. I am asking for an input from the user, which is an integer input. So I ask the user to enter a number. The user will enter some integer input and I will pass that input to that function prime. So this is function calling. Here I am calling the function prime, where I pass the number which I have taken from the user. Then I pass this number to this prime, and then this prime function will be called. When this function will be called, this function body will start working, and then this code will be executed. So this is how a function works. Let me show you. Let me show you this with the help of. Second. Yeah. So this is the code I was just showing you guys. So let's see how this works. Enter a number. Say 5 I entered. 5 is a prime number. I simply entered here 5. Then I pass that 5 to this prime. This prime function will be called. When this function will be called, this definition will start working. So according to this definition, this 5 is a prime number. Let's run this code once again. Let's say 8. 8 is not a prime number according to this logic. So this is how a function works. This is how a function is defined. This is how a function is called. So that's it for this class. See you in the next class.